Welcome to English Practice Every Day. In today's phrasal verb video, we will learn the different meanings of the phrasal verb take over, and practice each meaning with simple sentences. After the practice, we will read out loud a short story using all the possible meanings of this phrasal verb to understand the various meanings in context. Let's start. Please speak out loud with me as we practice. Take over. First meaning of take over is to assume control or responsibility for something, especially from someone else. Take over means to assume control or responsibility for something, especially from someone else. Jen will take over the project next month. Jen will take over the project next month. Can you take over the meeting while I'm away? Can you take over the meeting while I'm away? When the boss retires, her assistant will take over. When the boss retires, her assistant will take over. After a few months, Amy took over the family business. After a few months, Amy took over the family business. The new manager plans to take over the department soon. The new manager plans to take over the department soon. Second meaning of take over is to occupy or gain control of something, often by force or without permission. Take over means to occupy or gain control of something, often by force or without permission. A large company took over the smaller firm. A large company took over the smaller firm. The army quickly took over the enemy base. The army quickly took over the enemy base. The rebels tried to take over the government. The rebels tried to take over the government. The protesters attempted to take over the building. The protesters attempted to take over the building. Pirates took over the ship in the middle of the night. Pirates took over the ship in the middle of the night. Third meaning of take over is to dominate or overwhelm something or someone. Take over means to dominate or overwhelm something or someone. The weeds have taken over the garden. The weeds have taken over the garden. The loud music took over the entire room. The loud music took over the entire room. Technology seems to be taking over our lives. Technology seems to be taking over our lives. Sam's emotions took over and he couldn't think clearly. Sam's emotions took over and he couldn't think clearly. During the argument, anger took over their conversation. During the argument, anger took over their conversation. Fourth meaning of take over is to take someone's place or position temporarily. Take over means to take someone's place or position temporarily. Can you take over for me while I grab lunch? Can you take over for me while I grab lunch? Tom asked his brother to take over his shift at work. Tom asked his brother to take over his shift at work. The substitute teacher took over the class for a week. The substitute teacher took over the class for a week. When Liz got sick, her friend took over her role in the play. When Liz got sick, her friend took over her role in the play. I'll take over for you at the counter when you need a break. I'll take over for you at the counter when you need a break. That's the end of the practice session. Let's now read out loud a short story using all the meanings of takeover in a proper context. Title of the story: The Unexpected Takeover. When Beth's boss announced she was retiring, Beth knew she'd have to take over the marketing project. It was a big responsibility, but she was ready. She spent the weekend organizing everything, ensuring she would impress the team on Monday. However, Monday didn't go as planned. A large tech company had decided to take over their small agency. The news spread quickly and panic began to set in. What will happen to our jobs? One of her co-workers asked nervously. Beth tried to calm everyone down, even though she didn't know the answers herself. By the afternoon, the CEO of the tech company arrived and held a meeting. He explained how the changes would improve their work processes, but it felt like the new management was trying to take over every aspect of their workplace culture. Some employees weren't happy, but Beth saw this as a chance to prove herself. The next day, Beth noticed something strange in her garden. Weeds were starting to take over her carefully planted flowers. I can't let this happen now, she muttered, grabbing her gloves to clean it up. Back at the office, Beth worked late to prepare for a presentation. Her manager had fallen sick, so Beth was asked to take over her responsibilities temporarily. She felt overwhelmed, but once she started presenting, she gained confidence. At the end of the day, Beth looked around at her colleagues. Though the changes were tough, she realized the team was beginning to adapt. Sometimes, when things take over your life unexpectedly, they can lead to growth. Beth smiled, determined to show everyone she could rise to the challenge no matter what took over her path. End of story. That's all for this phrasal verb session. Please keep practicing this phrasal verb takeover with all its meanings until next time when we'll pick up another phrasal verb and master it. Bye for now.